to tilted to the bass inside.
If I could sum Carl Cox up in 3 words, larger than life.
Fun-loving guy.
A happy family smile.
Sick as hell.
Fun, generous, and talented.
My DJing inspiration.
Massive, energetic, phenomenal.
A real brother.
Generous, passionate, and a little bit mad.
He loves music.
Friend.
Humble.
He's generous.
Devastating.
Professional. Integrity.
Smile.
Outrageous.
Oh, a third one.
And generosity.
An innovator.
I would say friend.
Insane.
And legend.
You know, he's just Carl.
Big, gappy smile.
Big cuddly bear.
Cox never stops.
He's the chocolate Buddha, definitely.
Big black COX.
In this world, it's a guy.
The first time when I came to Ibiza, I was about 17 years old, and having a holiday at the time was kind of like, how do you do that, you know? And the only way you was able to do it is if you came to this sort of islands and you was able to work for a nightclubs, giving away tickets. That meant you can get into the club, drink as much as you like, as long as you've got a certain amount of people in. I actually chose to come to Ibiza in 1984. So I've been coming here every year since then. I've not missed 1 year. It's been a part of my life system, and you know, I'll always enjoy it for that. But really, I came in here on completely ground zero basis. My girlfriend at the time, Maxine Bradshaw, and my sister, they also wanted to come over with me. So we hired a Fiat Panda, which was a very low budget car, and we stayed for 2 or 3 nights in the car because we couldn't afford to stay anywhere else. So at night, we'd park up and we'd move the chairs down, and I'll kind of cuddle up with Maxine, and my sister was in the back, and then the sun would rise and burn us in the car. So we were to get up and then we'd go to one of the hostels and then have a wash and brush up, and then that was it to see the day. I was in heaven when I came here, you know, and then the DJ was playing some really good music, and then I was there. That was, for me, my life was always about going out. I mean, I was actually a dancer before I was a DJ, so therefore I wanted to go and dance into all these clubs, and that's how it all started for me. So I had a really good understanding of what I'm doing now today, based on what my intro was of when I started to come to Ibiza.
Thank you.
Good to see you. You too.
Great to see you.
Oh, I'm babysitting. How are you doing? Hot today, yeah? Welcome. Okay? There you go. Happy birthday. Thank you.
Sorry for so late, huh?
Yeah, but... Oh, the way.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. Why? I don't know. But everybody loved him. He touched the people by the heart. You understand? And this is his secret. He doesn't know it. But everybody loved him.
How are you? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you. I called yesterday, just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
29.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, always. Always on the time, man.
Nice. Good to see you. Look great.
Thank you, likewise.
I don't think Carl really has to do very much. He just has something in him. Carl has this integrity to himself, and he enjoys and he has passion. And when you have passion and integrity, things kind of fall into place.
Tuesday? I'm in that space. It's a work of art. Really? We're that space for sure. Yeah, really. Wow. I'm impressed. XXL? XL? It's okay. That's why I came down. Did my kind of like groundwork, you know. I played at Pasha, played at Privilege, Amnesia, played at Summum, I played at Star Club, which is now Eden. I did the whole thing for years, you know, and it got to a point where I didn't want to confuse the public anymore. I wanted people to come and see me at one place only, therefore they can get the full benefit of Carl Cox.
We were trying to convince Carl that in Ibiza space could be his own area where he could connect with Ibiza brand of music and crowd, etc., etc., etc.
Pepe, you know, at the time he could see that there was something about my attitude towards the place and how I felt about it was a lot different to most people that he's ever met, and he's followed that path in the sense of supporting me and who I am as an individual.
We were in a disposition to give an answer and to give an opportunity to Carl to create something by himself, something different than other clubs would do it.
We just thought, well, why don't we just open up earlier? I'll be able to do like a Carl Cox sessions on the terrace, and then therefore we would have already got our night started before 12 o'clock. So we basically changed the ethics of clubbing for space right there, right then.
I think space is really about the music, and I think that's the thing that Carl attracts with his parties and his whole concept as well. So that's what I love about it.
Ibiza is the centre point these days for dance music in the whole world, and so it's only a few months, but it's so important.
I think it's a DJ dream, you know, running his own night on the island, Ibiza.
Carl and Eric Murillo and Pete and Jules, they have an affinity with the island where they become part of the island and become part of the scene rather than just flying out there and doing a gig.
The most of the DJs have their best times when they play in Ibiza because the crowd is mixed, everybody is full of energy, everybody wants to have a good time. This is the reason why they went to Ibiza.
He's been able to evolve with the islands, and ultimately kind of, you know, that evolution has led to this point now where he's got this amazing night on this amazing island.
I always play at Carl's night at Space, and because he just gets the best crowd. And he played after me, and I stood there on the side for like an hour, just watching, enjoying, dancing, smiling, learning.
Wow. My God.
I hope you like it.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
There was one with Calavera.
Yes.
You know, kind of Ed Hardy style.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you were Ed Hardy.
Yeah.
But it was nice, but it was the Esfera was like this.
Carl loves this food, so he moves the restaurant, but we have it. So that I hope everybody will enjoy it. This is some Ibizan lobster with Pepe Rosselló flower, okay?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
You made the...
When I pursue about France around my life, and especially on my job, I always face Lynn, Carl, and all of you as a part of myself. And of course, you are there and you are here, and it is the best we can have together with you and sharing together our time, especially at this very special day and very special moment. Thank you. We are family. This is the thing. I feel them like a part of my person, my family, because my love and my respect is 100% for them. And I'm happy they are here, and I hope they never leave it.
It's his birthday today, and you know, he's got to go off and do a radio show in a couple of hours' time.
And for 7 years, he's been producing and presenting a weekly radio show that goes out on the world's best FM stations. He's got an audience of like 7-8 million people that tune in every single week.
Then he's going to have to go off and play on the terrace for a couple of hours. Then he'll have a little bit of a break. Then he's got to go and play for another 3 or 4 hours in the main room. I mean, that's a long set.
It's understood of the reasons why I do this, because I love it. I love being here in Ibiza. I love sharing my birthday here every summer. I mean, this is where I am, so it's kind of like an annual event in some way called COX's birthday.
Aquí en el estudio Carl Cox, una de las mejores sesiones del verano esta noche en Space.
Carl Cox here, playing some brand new music for you, and for tonight, it's going to be Boomba. It's really nice to be able to play the music I enjoy, and then later you hear the real power of the sound.
Luchando por muchos años, dando tu alegría y tu energía para todo el mundo y para la gente de Ibiza. Gracias.
Thank you. I mean, it's a radio station that had a little energy, you know, and it's really important that you get to do that now on the island. You know, it sets it up for people that may not even come down to the club, but might come down there, could have heard the sound and seen and heard the hype and everything. And but now going on to do what I do live, and hopefully people get it. What we try to do is tune what I need as a level to the room itself. And when it gets filled up here, it sucks in all the sound. So we always give ourselves enough headroom, so when there's a lot of people here, we can push the sound up a bit more, and it still won't disturb the sound. But as long as we don't have any distortion from this point on, and then we're going to be fine when we push the music up even further to the end of the night. And that's what we're looking for as a perfect sound.
I think the first record of Carl's that I knew, if I remember it correctly, it was called I Want You Forever. And at least I think that was the one I heard. And I'd put out a song called Go, and it was on one of many rave compilations, and I was listening to the compilation and I heard the Carl Cox track as well. This was probably like the summer of 1991.
He was a huge breakbeat DJ, but he also was mixing techno and house. He was, you know, he created the bridges into the genres like this.
He's reinventing himself in many ways to different crowds, and people have seen him from their younger days, and now perhaps some of their sons and daughters are going out to watch Carl, you know.
He's, I think, definitely an example to the younger guys, you know, in terms of how professional he is.
If you look at where, you know, both myself and Carl have come from, we've both worked really, really hard to get where we are. It's, you know, it's many, many years of working your way up, building your profile.
You know, he was the Don 28 years ago.
Intimate moment.
Mamma mia!
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Wow. Is that sealed with a kiss?
Yeah. Really, I'm touched. I'm touched.
Very
Thank you.
Wow.
They do a great job for the whole summer. They're here. They are part of COX success in this wonderful night that we do at the Space. And I thought they deserve this, and not only this, much more. This is only something physical you touch, but they deserve the feeling, the love, the caring, and everything.
Are you ready for takeoff? Are you ready for takeoff?
You know, we've been around the world many times, and I still get the buzz. You know, I'm not the performer, Carl's performing, but I still feel what he's feeling, you know, and what he's giving in some ways, and I feel what he's receiving from the people too.
I think the thing with Carl is he brings so much energy into the room when he walks in there, the whole place. As soon as they see him and they see him in the booth, he's got that rhythm, the way he moves, and you can just see the crowd starting to move with his rhythm.
His music is from the soul. He knows exactly what people want to hear. And the minute he's on, it's like my body moves. Everything in my body just shakes, and I just want to put my hand up, and I'm so excited to see him today.
We love Carl. We would like to thank Carl Cox for putting our club on the map. Let me tell you a story. We opened, and when we first opened, the police shut us down. We lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. We were on the ropes. Business wasn't good, and then Carl agreed to play here New Year's Eve and put us on the map and lifted our club up, and we cannot thank him enough. So thank you, Carl, if you're watching your DVD.
Carl is really one of the few DJs where people in New York will come on full out. And it's a full night on when Carl Cox is playing.
At the end of the day, it's all about the music. And if you're not a good DJ, you shouldn't be here.
Carl used to play extremely hard at Twilo, even at Twilo with his wonderful sound system. And some people used to get scared and run away. And then we, us, the staff, and everybody else were like, bring it on, Carl. Bring it on. Welcome to New York City.
Oh, there's something about him. He always, you know, like, okay, for example, like today, he has a gig here at Pasha. He came to sound check and, you know, to make sure everything was right. He has like an enthusiasm, like sort of for every gig. He you know, every gig he treats it like, you know, people are coming, look at the line, you know, people are coming to hear Carl Cox. They're paying their money and he's giving them their money's worth.
To please the New York crowd is really tough because they want to be given something. They need to feel that you're here for a reason, you know, not just to play big commercial hit records, whatever. It's like bring your soul to the dance floor. And last night at Pasha was just completely all about that still, you know. I mean, I went on at 1 o'clock, finished at 5:30. Club was packed. Victor went on. I don't know what time he's probably still playing now. I don't know. If you can get them people together and basically get them all dancing under one beat, you really feel that coming back, you know, which is awesome. And if you break America, they always say you break America. Sorry, break New York, you can break America.
Without Carl, New York would be in trouble.
First time I came to Las Vegas was around about 1995, 96. I mean, in the early days, there were talking about the early rave parties that used to happen here in the desert, and then people just after rave party used to come to Vegas to carry on their weekend. But that was one of the reasons for coming over as well, because of the music started to creep into Vegas at this time. But when I first came, I had no real idea of the magnitude of what this place is actually like. You have to come here to understand how big it is. But when I came, it was already big to begin with, because all the hotels, even at that time, were just the biggest things I've ever seen in my life. Most of the clubs now are built in the casinos, so you do get a lot of kind of like people who are coming to have a really good time in the casinos, come to have parties in the hotel rooms. And if I turn up to do my set here, it adds to the rest of their trip coming over here. But you do get a lot of people who understand the music, and it's now a part of the society here in Vegas, where you got people who also look for that as well, which I think is important. Vegas is a 24-hour town. I mean, you can jack it up as much as you like here, or you can relax as much as you like here. It's up to you what you want to do. I mean, my first, I would say, 5 years of Vegas, I don't remember too much of it. It's a bit of a blur most of the time. But meanwhile, as far as I'm concerned, it's something which I always enjoy. I mean, in Vegas, it's hard to keep the attention of people in one spot, because there's so much to do here, so many places to go, so many people to see, and you know, if I've got people in the club for at least 4 or 5 hours, then my job is done in Vegas. This is one thing what I like coming to Vegas, because of things like this. This is just awesome. I think we need one of these at home. I've got my headphones as usual. I don't normally leave them, but you know, sometimes I'll try to check everything, and then the most important thing that I need.
You always remember everything.
Normally, I do. Yeah.
Carl and I found ourselves in Marbella, and we thought we'd join the jet set for a long weekend and rent a Ferrari. And so we were sort of driving around, trying to show off. And I think it was my turn to drive, and I remember taking a wrong turn and then reversing the Ferrari backwards into a very high curb. And I think, unless you've done this, the noise of scraping fiberglass on concrete is excruciating when it's not your car and you've got a huge deposit on it. And we got out and we had ripped this side skirt to bits. I was thoroughly embarrassed as the driver, and what we did do, though, which was even better, we got some lipstick off some girls we were staying with to try to touch up the side skirt in Ferrari red. Didn't work, lost the deposit. I think Ferraris would think they're probably best left alone.
It was definitely the bus tour when they picked me up on the bus, and it was actually the first morning waking up with Carl Cox somewhere in a room or in a bus. I see Carl going straight to the fridge, open up, getting this big fat ass burrito. I mean, it was 11 o'clock in the morning, and he put it in the microwave and he just killed that stuff. I was very impressed. I'm like, okay, Carl.
I did have a fantastic game of table football with him upstairs here. He actually wrenched the players out of the table. It got so intense. He's like, and he's got like 3 footballers on a skewer. He's like, oh, sorry.
And it was a very windy day. And in a certain moment, Carl was there, and he got the record and put inside on the plate, and the record makes boom, escape. And a few moments later, the record fall down again on his own table. It was something which I remember, and he was also shocked about this, and it was amazing. All the flags were winding, and it was a mess, you know.
Carl is not that drinker and all, and I love to drink, and it was quite easy for me to give him some drinks. And to see him tipsy was very, very funny. I mean, he turned to the little baby and started to do jokes with me and everything. I'm like, okay, no more alcohol for you, Carl.
If you're on the dance floor, you love it when these big guys
sweating his head off, and he's like smiling, is throwing records in, and you know, there's something happening in the room. It's vibrant, it's alive. And then together with his musical taste and the charisma that he has, it's a one in a million combination. There's only few people who have it, and he has it.
You know, the magazines and the interviews all focus on the champagne life and the fake tits and, you know, the club life and how great it is. But there is there's a big work aspect to what we do.
I think the key to Carl Cox's success is the fact that he's very good at what he does. He works incredibly hard. He's a genuinely nice person, and he tours incessantly.
He lives in a club. He doesn't really, you know, like, he's always traveling. He's always pushing his sound somewhere in the world.
You never see Carl look pissed off, or he's always got a smile on his face. You know, it doesn't matter if he's just got off a 20-hour flight or whatever else. You know, he might be like, and then he walks in the club and it's like, boom.
You have gig after gig in, you know, different countries, and you're not sleeping or whatever, but whenever he shows up and he sees the crowd, I think, you know, the kind of symbiotic relationship he has with the crowd enables him to really sort of perk up and get into it and give a really good performance.
We're now in Atlanta from Vegas. Got up at 9 o'clock in the morning to leave Vegas at 10:30, and we actually landed here in Atlanta, losing 3 hours at about 7:30. So most of the day's gone now. But he went straight to the club, to our sound check, probably the quickest sound check I think we've ever done, purely based on time. But we've got some good guys down there that can set it up for us real quick, and it seems all right. So fingers crossed everything will be fine for tonight. If it ain't, we'll soon know about it. The first time I went to the WMC in Miami was about 1994, where I stayed at the world-famous Fontainebleau Hotel where the WMC was being held. And for me, this was where the epicenter of all delegates would go to meet other DJs, producers, writers, club owners, everything you can think of to do with dance music. It was happening right there. Every DJ in the planet are in Miami for the Winter Music Conference at this time. Especially for the English, we treat it as our music industry summertime, because you can go on the beach and you can hang out and have a really good time with the locals, also hanging out and enjoying the sun, where normally in England the sun hasn't even come out yet until at least the end of June. But meanwhile, this is the scene set in Miami. So for us, it was always something of a pleasure to end up at Miami at this time. It's so bustling with so many different cultures and people from all over the world coming to hear DJs, check out new music, what's going to be hot for this year in the sense of new tune, what's going to be the hot parties, what DJs are rocking it, what DJs are not rocking it. But meanwhile, everyone's there for the one reason only, and that's because of the music.
Okay, man? How's life?
Does he have a pass?
Yeah, it's good.
Does he have a pass?
Hello, John. How are you? Mark. Nice to meet you. Welcome.
have a good mind to go in and tell everyone, you know what, it's still early, yeah? You know what I mean? Just calm down.
Everybody pace themselves.
Pace themselves already. Everyone's rocking the house.
What's up, it's Pete. We're backstage right now. Ultra Music Festival 10th anniversary. And I got some guy I'm sitting with, you might have heard of him. The one, the only, the icon, the ambassador of this music, Mr. Carl Cox.
Going to a club where Carl's playing is more about him.
He can play anywhere at any time, and he's the only one that will always rock every single dance floor, which is massively inspirational.
It's the second he comes on the decks, you know Carl Cox has arrived.
The first thing that happens when you listen to Carl DJing is you start dancing and smiling.
I think he really pushed techno to the forefront and in many ways popularized it from the very beginning.
And I think Carl chooses great music that makes people dance. I think he hears things in the music that other people probably don't hear, and his coordination when he puts things together is absolutely unmatched. So that, I think, is why he's the man.
Everyone's like, Carl.
This is a religion. Carl Cox has a religion, people. It's my Buddha.
Oh, look at that. That is great. Now we can go and party, you know, like the Berliners, you know, make after party, you know, for like 2 or 3 days and grow a beard. Hi, this is Carl Cox, and you are listening to Hit the Decks with Rudy Kaiser.
The actual school is called the California Superbike School, and the purpose of the school is to help anybody of any level corner their motorcycles more effectively. When Carl first came to the school, he was in the classroom, a very attentive student, I have to say. Guy comes over to me, he says, Carl Cox is on the school. I went, now I know why I know that face. So, and to be fair, he came along, you know, there's no superstar or anything. He came along as a biker, just like everybody else. That's his passion, that's what he wanted to do, and he just wanted to blend in, and he did it perfectly, you know. It's spot on, absolutely spot on.
A lot of people get an insight to actually what really happens. People think you get on these bikes and then why you go around the track, but it's just not like that at all. Okay. Wasn't too bad for the first one for the day. Coming straight into it. There's a few things I've got to learn. And but that's why I'm here at the end of the day.
Turn 1, did you get the point what I was making there? Because when you went through the time before, you went out quite wide.
I did, yeah. They're not going to let me go around and think I'm brilliant all day long. They're going to, whatever little bit they need to pick up on, which can make all the difference, and then by all means come out and show me what's wrong.
Carl's riding skills have come along nicely. I've spoken to his coach a couple of times throughout the day. They're progressing quite nicely. He's working on the level 2 skills, which are the visual skills today, which they're harder to get in place than the stuff he did on level 1. But once they dial in, he's going to get a huge big win out of it. And again, speaking to his coach is saying that he's here as a student. There's no superstar. He's just such a down-to-earth person.
Every control action you perform on a bike, is related directly to what you see.
The reason that you always hit something when you target fix on it is because you become unaware of your peripheral vision. Your eyes, right? Very simple devices. They were designed to pick up three things. Looks around the room first. Right, women. Danger. Food. Okay, now the danger doesn't have to be real. A curb on the outside of a corner is not dangerous. It's just a piece of ground. However, if you were to run over it and the bike became unstable and you lost grip, then you have the perception of danger, and that's then why the eyes would target fix on it.
Knowledge is power at the end of the day. I mean, I really don't need to really learn much more apart from just getting out there and doing it now by what I've learned in practice. Try and do as many ride days as possible, track days as possible. Try not to come off. Ride within your limits and have a really good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Tobias Wilcock welcoming you aboard Coconut Airways Flight 372 to Bridgetown, Barbados. We will be flying at an height of 32,000 feet and at an airspeed of approximately 600 miles per hour.
Well, the thing is about, my mum and dad coming from Barbados. I mean, when they came over from Barbados into England in the late 50s, they came over to work, and in the end, I'm not sure if they really wanted to have a family, but here I am. Hello. And two sisters,
We wanted him to become a photographer, other things we wanted him to become, nothing to do with music at all.
No, Carl, no, you're finished your schooling, or you're almost finished. What do you want to do? I heard reply was, you want to be a bus driver.
We lived in quite a small house, but we were, a tight family unit, My dad was a bus driver, mum was a midwife. That's what they ever did, I mean, for me, it was always like, I never really wanted to be either of these people. I grew up with music in my blood. I mean, I blame my father for, allowing me to play records when he didn't want to play records, but, it's probably been one of the best things happened in my life based on what I've achieved since then.
I would play at parties and gigs, weddings. I used to play there. So I used to take him along with me. And when I got tired, I used to turn it over to him.
He was a big music player from a very, very young age, and he actually brought the twin deck system himself.
He would sit at the piano and he would listen to the radio and he would just play what he heard on the radio. Just so. Every line from the radio, he would just play.
Our jobs were anything I could do in the building trade, from a bricky's mate to carpenter's mate to hod carrier, and in the end my trade ended up being a scaffolder. At the outside of that, I was always DJing. I was always doing a wedding or club, or I was always doing a birthday party. I was always doing something. Even though I was DJing, being self-employed, I took up a carpet cleaning job, and I used to do all the clubs in Brighton. So I used to clean all the clubs in Brighton and wine bars as well in the dead of night. And this was, for me, was something which gave me a lot of grounding, but also it made me more forceful to actually do something.
I think he turned himself away himself. I mean, we spoke to him, really spoke to him. But I think he did it on his own. I think he found out that he's going the wrong path on his own. And he did it himself.
My God, my brother's so big, and I can't really get over how big he really is and how people talk about him in a really nice way, how they love his music and what he does. It just makes me feel really proud, really, that he is my brother,
I wonder myself, what is the catch? Why do people, because when I'm with him, people come up to say, you're the greatest Carl Cox, you're the best Carl Cox. And I thought, what?
Carl Cox to me is just like my uncle. It doesn't really mean much to me. He means a lot to me, but his name, whereas to a lot of other people it'd be like, oh my God, it's Carl Cox. But to me it's just my uncle.
To many people, he's
Carl Cox, whoa, you know, King God, whatever. But, you know, I know him as Carl, and I've always known him as that. And, you know, that's why, for me, you know, he's very much a star for many people, but he's a star in a different way for me, you know, he's Carl.
He's progressed and changed as a human like we all do, but he hasn't, his ego hasn't. He's still the Carl that I met 14 or some years ago.
We were in Colombia, and not even the main capital. We were walking out of the airport, and then we were walking down. This little kid comes up with a paper and a pen, and I'm like, fucking in Colombia, in the middle of nowhere, and he comes out, and this kid is really happy to get his autograph. I think, yeah, if you're worldwide like that, and even small kids in Colombia know who you are, yeah.
He's getting famous, more famous, every year, and it gets bigger and it gets better. And then I think, 1 minute, no, he's my brother, and then I think, oh my God, my brother's famous.
Now he's just famous for being Carl Cox. It's like if you're that famous, you don't have to explain it. He just is Carl Cox.
Cruise to Bridgetown, Barbados. The weather is fine with a maximum temperature of 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The sky is blue and the palm trees are really cool.
It's been really difficult to come here, you know, to see my mum and dad because of the way how things have happened for me. You know, but as I get older and as things have gone along, I've been able to start to take more time to see my mum and dad because, you know, they're not getting any younger as well. You know, every year you just don't know what's going to happen to each of them. Even myself, I don't know what's going to happen to me. But it's really important to have and create more family ties as things go along. Because, you know, no matter what, you know, your family comes first, and no matter what happens, it doesn't matter how successful I am.
For the family, he's looked after us over the years. You know, we've kept in contact with him. We always know where he is. If we had any problems, we would be able to talk to him. Or he's always there.
He's very loyal to his family. He's very loving towards his family because even though he doesn't see us that often, we still mean quite a lot to him. And he's just a person with just a very, very big heart.
I am so proud of him. I am really, really proud of him. You know, of my son. I'm proud.
How you doing? Well, welcome to Melbourne, Australia, to my home. Everything is big in Australia because you have, you know, a lot of land to do a lot of stuff on. And this house here is on 2/3 of an acre. And it has everything that I need to enjoy my life here. Straight away, all you have here is a lot of space. And the kitchen area, for me, is where I do a lot of my entertaining, cooking. I'm a bit of a cook also, so obviously being in Australia, you need to be able to cook something. Most of the time it's a barbecue, as you will see outside here. We do a lot of entertaining outside here as well. I have this back part of the house. So, you know, with tennis court, swimming pool, everything you need to relax, and I think that's really important. My life is really hectic, and you know, I need some normality in it. It has to be something which is about just me, the person, and not me, the DJ. So me being here is me, the person, and I feel very happy about it, liberated also, almost, because most people want me to be Carl Cox, the DJ. I mean, I've built that persona up for sure, but again, you know, Carl Cox isn't a pseudonym for anything. That's my name, that's who I am, and that's what I wanted to live my life by. But there has to be a balance of what I do as a DJ and what I do as a normal person. You know, yes, I'll go to the laundrette. Yes, I'll go, well, not actually, I don't go to the laundrette actually. I go to the dry cleaners. But yes, I'll go and get my own shopping. Yes, I'll go and get my own fuel and that sort of stuff, you know. I don't have butlers or anything like that running around, you know, doing things for me. It's all about what my balance of my life is. And I feel that I'm able to have that here above everything else. Looked out the garden one day and there it was. I was like, who put that there? And no one would own up, so. But I've got a really good idea, but you know, it's a little bit of England into my garden right there. kind of like the Carl Cox kingdom of what you would like to have in the garage. Monaro, Ducati, Harley Davidson, some dirt bikes, and your records. These records basically start from 1963 and they end up being over here the year 2006 when I stopped buying more vinyl. You know, most of these records I bought from a record store. I went and earned my money respectively and sat there and shift through loads of records and made sure I bought what I liked. Most of the records here that I've got are the ones that I listened to and I bought because I like them. If I have to work out how many pieces of vinyl is here, it's got to be over 150,000 pieces. It's a lot. It took 2 20-foot containers to ship over here from England. All my vehicles, they all have CCX number plates on. Some people were looking at it to begin with just to think that they were like Roman numerals, but it was either you see CC as Carl Cox and the X being a Cox, or you can kind of think that the second C is an O, so it looks like Cox. But I didn't want the Cox on the number plate. This is my studio where it all happens. I do all my radio shows here, do all my mixes, compilations, and I'm working on my new Carl Cox album at the moment as well. But this is a really good sized room. The idea of having a 42-inch plasma was that I was able to do a lot of movie links and making music to adverts and stuff like that. So you need the screen, which is absolutely brilliant. But as you can see, many years ago, the studio used to consist of a lot of hardware, and now most of the stuff that you're using is all in the computer now. So you don't actually need a big, massive room to have a really good, elaborate studio. I just have one MIDI keyboard which fires off everything that I need from my computer, and I just have a lot of fun here. Around where I live, it's a peninsula. This is a part of it. We're in Mornington right now, and this is one of the reasons why I fall in love with being in Melbourne. Instantly, it gives me exactly what I need, and that's peace, tranquility, grounding, call it what you like. But at the end of the day, I feel good about being here. Good morning, everyone. Well, not many people get to see me in a suit. Normally it's for weddings, but today it's for a court case. Because one of the reasons why I'm here in Melbourne is that today I'm actually trying to get some money back from a deposit that I laid down on a business which didn't go through. So I'm really looking for justice based on how I feel about it, and also I think the principle of the reason of how you don't treat other people in business. So today, hopefully, we get the right result. This has been over the last 6 months of trying to do this, trying to get involved in this business, and it's basically, I've ended up with nothing. So I'm just looking for a little bit of justice today. Even though initially when I was buying the business that it was something that I needed to deal with, in the end, it wasn't my problem or my to deal with. It was down to them, because every time that they couldn't get to a point, my timeline was running out.
Well, that's essentially it, isn't it? There was an implied term that there would be a renewal of the lease, because it had to happen. It should have taken place by the 14th of July. It didn't. So therefore, implicitly,
which pushed me out of contract.
It pushed you out of the contract. So no, it's called promissory estoppel.
What the hell is that?
It's 15th century law, essentially. And that is where people weren't happy with what the law was, so they went to the king.
Right.
And they said, excuse me, it's the law of equity. It's basically, regardless of what the law says, this is wrong.
Right. That's how I feel about it.
I know. And,
I think exactly like that.
Anyway.
Sounds right to me.
Let's go and spin some discs.
I wish it was as easy as that.
So do I.
Well, here I am after a day that I've had at court, which was very interesting to say the least. There's still no resolution on that, but meanwhile, I'm here in Paran. I'm going to go meet my friends at a very nice restaurant called Fog and kind of reflect on what I've got to do next. And what I've got to do next is travel all the way back to Europe on the Malaysian Airlines, all the way through to Kuala Lumpur. After that, I get to Heathrow Airport. From Heathrow Airport, I'll get on and do a festival called the Inox Festival in Toulouse, and then after that, I'm going to be heading off to France to do some TV work. So my life continues after the day that I've had. And meanwhile, hopefully, by next week, we'll find out what's going to happen to me based on the situation that we all now know about, which was not very good, but I'm going to be enjoying myself there and having a few drinks with a couple of my mates. Danny, how you doing, Eric?
All right, how are you?
Good to see you. And he's dragged you out here today, has he? Probably we'll have a few drinks today also. Anyway, see you later, guys.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, this is technology. Just sent that off my computer and it just comes straight back as a reply saying thank you on my telephone.
Why are you talking to your computer?
Why is your computer talking back?
So tonight, all of these arches are being carried over. This is where all your slide displays are going to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all these shops are being blacked out.
This is the first time that they've done this here in Heaven. So when people come back through here for the first time, they'll be like, oh, that'd be pretty amazing. People not expecting. They can expect some banners, sprayed banners from many years ago, and put the black light on, and it will come up like that, you know.
This is Carl's mixer that he designed with Vestax 6 years ago. We actually went to Japan, set everything up. Certain features on here that you won't find on many other, or at the time you wouldn't have found on many mixers.
There is a certain setup which is always current, but it's always updated because he doesn't like to stand still and he likes to see what's out there and utilises the best equipment available for the shows that he puts on.
Cole's passion and love for technology has always shown me a side that he stays on top of his game by being on the road and having to adapt into his environment.
He evolves with the times. I remember back in the day he was spinning on 3 turntables, which was an amazing thing. Today he's using it with CDJs and he's advancing as the industry advances.
Been to the lawyers, going to the bank, then we're going over to the O2, another good reason for taking the bike. We're going to go and check out, they've asked us to go up because they want us to do some work there next year, so we're going to go and have a look at it.
Did I meet recruits? Went pretty well. So we'll go over to the O2 now, check out the venue there, and see if we can do a COX and Friends in London.
Standing
the stage now actually, so it will be.
I mean, the configuration you'll recognise from Fabric anyway. Stage here, DJ booth there.
Yeah.
And it's just that we've got more terraces.
This metal frame here going around. You know, at Fabric we've got that body sonic floor underneath. And this is a sort of the next generation one of those, which has actually got these things called butt kickers underneath there. And they actually strike the underside of the floor. Just the whole energy from that strike comes
On the
up
dance floor.
and basically gets conducted through the body.
We've done it quite a few times where we've just had an empty warehouse and then we've got to basically put something in there which is exciting visually as well as what you get from the DJs and the music and stuff, which is also important. But you know, once it's all gone, it's just a room.
Don't get carried away with the building. It's just a building. You've got to hear the sound system. That's what's going to make this place rock.
What it is, yeah. And the soundproofing is that really is amazing. Because Twilight was always a good club, only because it was all soundproofed. That's why the sound was so brilliant. Because then they can really pinpoint exactly what they wanted from a frequency point of view of why that room sounded so bloody good. Apart from the dance floor bit here, where would the chairs won't be here though, would they?
No, the chairs won't be there. It's already there.
That's 1,500 standing.
When I do things now, there's a reason for it, not just because. And I want people to understand that it's not an everyday occurrence me playing in London like it used to be before. I mean, to be honest, it's always been a little bit special me playing in London. But then it was special because I was also working with other people. So I was working with all the other DJs as well. So it's like a massive event in itself. These events now are Carl Cox events. It's based on what I want to give to people, and then bring in what I believe could be the best talent or the best music that you can possibly get in any venue based on what I like. And my ears have always been good to me based on what I like. So, you know, if I bring in a certain DJ or certain live act or what it is, because I believe that that's the very best you're going to get, and I want them involved in the venue as well.
The first time I played for him actually was at his night in Ibiza at Space, and for me that was like, I think for me it was perfect. I think it's still like one of the best gigs I've done so far.
At the end of the day, the scene always needs a future, and Carl's always spearheaded that. He's always supported it. He's understood it. He's understood that a whole new generation has come through since he first began playing.
Josh Wink had invited him to come to play at Fluid, and it was March that time. He came and just destroyed it. We stayed until the end to introduce ourselves as producers and gave Carl a CD of ours, and the next thing we know, we had emails from Carl's people, and then things just blossomed from there. I mean, Carl's been a great support for us.
He was definitely kind of, I sort of moved down to come to college, and he definitely kind of took me under his wing and sort of like became sort of mentor.
Carl Cox, 24 hours at the O2, playing all these various venues.
What other DJ has ever played 24 hours?
You reckon you can play for 24 hours?
It'd be a tough call, but I think I could do it. Yeah! Who wants to take me on? To do something like this, I would probably do the Carl Cox live show, which would tag on the new album, because I'm working on a new album at the moment as well, and all of that sort of stuff. So that all lends itself to record companies get involved and everyone else and blah blah blah. For our the one-off unique Carl Cox London show based on the live element to it, plus everything else around that. We give a signed contract now.
We're doing what for wrestling?
So, we just put it in the WWF. Oh my God.
Yeah, what a day. And it's raining. Oh man.
Well, it's been a long day today.
Yeah.
Trying to look at these venues, and we always try to do something a little bit different in the end of the day based on what we do. And actually there's a few venues in there that are, they, over the time that they've been building the concept of bringing people here, and we want to have a look to see what's going on also. It's actually quite interesting. It's very, I would say, 21st century now. Everyone's talking about...
it's very Las Vegas, actually.
It is turning into London, Las Vegas. I've been here in Horsham for many years, and I feel like it serves its purpose for what I need to do in the sense of being who I am now. You know, I don't need to buy a house for convenience. I need to buy a house because I actually want to be there, and I actually like the area that I want to be in. And I always found that I had an affinity with Brighton in some ways. For me, going there in 1984, and my career stemmed from Brighton, I think it's only fitting now for my outro of my career that I still end up in Brighton because I love it as a place. I always have done.
So, which 41-year-old model do you want? This one or this one? Which one's going to last another 40 years?
So that is the question, isn't it? This one hasn't done too bad.
This one don't done too bad.
Here's the most famous twin overhead cam Lotus Cortina engine. This car was completely redone, stripped out. Everything was stripped out. He sandblasted the body, new wings, new doors, all sorts of things on it, and then he had it all repainted, and then put it all back together. Ken Lowe fan. How sweet is that? I've seen some Cortina Lotuses it's got Cortina on the side. Some don't have Cortina on there. But there's a lot of stock Cortina. Most people, if they don't like the steels, they put the minstrel wheels on or Cosmic. I haven't seen any with Revolution wheels on, because they used to have Revolution, the black four-spoke. Revolutions. I always like that on the Cortina. Let's come over to the bikes. I mean, I never do anything by half, to be honest. But since I passed my test 2 years ago, these kind of bikes are all the kind of bikes that I like to ride. And this bike here, we'll start off here, is the 600 Hornet, and I kind of passed my test on a bike similar to this one. But what I like about it, if you're on your own, it's really light. It's got a 600 CBR engine detuned in it. And the upright, it's naked kind of type street bike. But then I went for King Daddy of all bikes. Still today, Danny Petroza, Nicky Hayden, still flashing the colours of Repsol around the MotoGP track at the moment. Very easy bike to ride, actually. The CBR 1000RR Honda Fireblade. But meanwhile, the most comfortable bike, but also the most powerfulest bike, apart from this one, because this one still will have you off the back of the bike, is the Suzuki Hayabusa. Basically, when it came out, a lot of people was shocked by the looks and how it rode, and you know, had all these things about it. But a bike that could do 200 miles an hour was always something that a lot of people were like curious about. I just enjoyed it because A, it's really safe, B, it's really comfortable. C, if you do have a pillion, they're not too worried about being on a bike for a long time as well. And it's just a really, really nice bike to ride. It's got a good balance on it. You can still take it around the racetrack if you really wanted to, put a bit more effort into it, and then you get what you want out of the bike. But I just really enjoy it. And also, it's kind of controversial in the way that it looks. So people have always got an opinion, whether they like the front, hate the back, like the front, whatever. It's still a talking point of having a motorbike in such a way. I think the biker instinct has always been within me, but never exercised it until now. And now that I've exercised it, passed my test at all the relevant places, do my advanced riding courses and do my superbike schools and get out on track days, you can't stop me. I'm here to stay, and I really, really enjoy it.
We're looking at bringing some sort of activity here.
I want to see a chill out area.
Yeah, chill out, marketplace type thing. 700,000-800,000 people when they're here.
And where's the bar for here?
Back here. But what we're going to do is build additional bars around.
And where's the nearest toilets in this place?
Here, they're just through there. Here.
Perfect.
Each area's got
self-contained then?
Yeah.
We could put a couple of screens up here, showing downstairs.
Yeah. But you can
visually.
link it.
Yeah.
If you wanted, you can link the music if you wanted. Or you can have your own music.
Well, we can take a view maybe. I mean, but it would be good to see the visual of downstairs.
Yeah.
Really, for that package, it's more the visual side of it and the screens and all that sort of stuff. With the lighting, I'm not as fast, so you can choose for that yourself.
Okay. Sound. I don't know who these guys are.
What next those people, I will send you a link over.
Okay.
Have a look at it.
Yeah.
Get them to quote for it.
Okay.
See what they say.
Yeah.
If it's not something you want to do, it's not a problem. The biggest thing, especially with Carl in England, is that we work with promoters. And it's people understanding the respect and the quality of promotion and everything that we do. And it's just getting into the head of that promoter that, no, this is not your event, this is a Carl Cox and Friends event, and we do it our ways. So we don't go in thinking how much money can we make, we go in thinking what's the best show that we can do, and everybody's happy.
Looking for a nice place to live back in Brighton again. And I've always loved Brighton, and I've kind of forgotten what it's like to be back down here again as kind of like home when I kind of grew up, and then I kind of grew up here when my career started to take off. But also a lot of my friends here as well and stuff like that.
When I moved to Brighton, he was the biggest DJ in Brighton, and as an aspiring DJ, I felt drawn towards him.
A great deal of the people who Carl's friends with are from Brighton. He's got a lot of roots here, and he's really loved here.
We'd be neighbours again, but I think it would be more about just hanging out together rather than making tunes. Because the thing is, we've both been doing it for so long, and yeah, we're more likely to play table football than make a tune together. And I've got a new table come.
The kitchen area.
Oh, there's a garden access to
It goes right to the front. Some old gits left in my own Lotus Cortina that side. What?
It's the rocking room.
Oh, I like this.
I know, it's nuts, isn't it?
Granny.
Putting the world to rights.
Hey.
Yeah, we used to have a big analogue desk and all that, and we slowly gone more digital and more digital.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for today, Kev. Sorting that out for us.
Good to see the old Lotus.
Yeah, I thought you might appreciate that. Yeah. I really like the house. I think it's really, really nice. It's it ticks off all the right boxes for me, and there's so much room for manoeuvre in a sense of turning it into what I would like to have at the end of the day. And also that the house actually has a bit of history from many years ago of the music that's been produced at that place as well, because it was primarily a place where a lot of artists made a lot of hit records too. And that's always really nice to know that that house had good vibes about it. It had something positive about the house. Brighton has changed in a sense because of new money, new energy, new people, new ideas. But the actual place itself is the same. With the building architecture, the lanes, seafront, and I feel that's quite endearing of what makes this place so special. It was a really good opportunity for me to come down and do something completely on my own for what kind of got me who I am today, because I basically stood out from the crowd based on the parties that I did here and how I kind of instigated all the rave scene from here and basically built my name here with all the DJs and all the management and everyone to do with the Brighton scene. I was a very big part of that from the very early days. I was kind of responsible, and in the end, for a lot of the things that you see happening now here in Brighton, based on what wasn't happening when I first came to Brighton, and that was in 1985.
I think Carl, if he set his mind to something and then he's working with a good knit team like Lynn and Ian, that he can probably create whatever he really wants to do. And the challenge for him is just to be able to ask the question is what I want to, what is it that I want to do?
He wants to give, and he will keep giving, and that's the type of person he is. He's a big man. He's got a big heart with it, and he's a character, and people see this in him, And then,
when you've been DJing for a certain period of time and you have played so many amazing festivals, so many great residencies, great clubs, one-off events, you don't think to yourself, oh well, there must be something more, because the fact that what you do week in, week out is probably the best of the best that's out there. That's what keeps you excited, that's what keeps you driven.
I don't think he's got any other mountains to climb, he's done it.
He's been absolutely everywhere, if he was another planet he'd probably conquer that too.
There's enough energy, there's enough inspiration to go on, to move on the next 10 years. Yeah.
If someone could, is going to have a party on the moon, then I think it's going to be Coxie that's playing it, really,
I don't think there's anywhere else to go apart from space.
Carl's acting in movies. I think it's a hobby for him. I think he's good at it, and he should probably continue doing that.
Tried to be being the hard man in the gangster movies, but he's a bit too much of a softie, isn't he, really?
I think when you're at the top, you can't go higher.
Yeah, he got some DJ awards, he got some good records, a label, a nice tour, a bus tour, a great friend, a great tour manager. I think maybe the last thing he wants maybe is to win the Grand Prix as a motorbike driver. I think it's motorbike, Grand Cross, something. I think this is a little dream in his head. Yeah, I know it. You want to be like Valentino Rossi or some other guy. I think.
Carl presumes that he has a beautiful house in Australia. He tells me a lot of times he wants to go and live in Australia, etc. I am jealous about Australia.
I can see him begin to enjoy the fruits of his labor, of his job, of his work, by going out and riding bikes like he likes to do.
It's COX in South London, back home basically. It's quite extensive because we've got to do quite a bit of filming, and as well as interviews for the SW4 party. So we start off this morning with some makeup. Well, it wasn't me. Yes.
I'm just. I was with my fiancée
Saw you in Korea.
We are in Korea.
Ah, excellent.
It was 1.5, 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah, we went to Korea just for you, Really, it was nice to see you.
No problem, it was a pleasure.
Because we didn't
well,
We'll get there in time to Tim Westwood.
You see, you got me out in the daytime, you see. It's like, not many people see him in the daytime, so they're going to go, there he is. I'm going to get so done. You know what, I did get done actually once when my posters went up and I got the bill. Went straight to my house. Hi, I'm DJ COX and I'm sat here in Clapham Common for the 2008 Southwest 4. Looking forward to it, of course. I'm really looking forward to putting this together and showing the world what it's really like to be COX from an interesting point of view. And you also get to see my sisters and my mum and dad and my niece, so that should be quite funny to see them in the limelight.
I don't get to go and see him often, but when he's in town, I will try my best to get to go and see him. So I'm looking forward to going to see him now in Clapham, so I can't wait for that.
The first time was Clapham Common, and I took some of my friends along with me, and just to see people like going crazy over my uncle, that was just really weird. It was a really like nice feeling to like, it's just, like looking at what he's achieved, all these people like jumping up and down and going crazy for him.
basically the idea today is it's to stamp the fact that I'm doing SW4 and to get some really good shots of the common and for people to see that my involvement is quite extensive. I've never really been driven by, you know, what is being seen as a success. You know, try and get a top #1 hit record on the radio. Try and get on top of the pops. Try and get on MTV, all this sort of stuff. I've done all of that, but I did all of that through what I believe in my music and who I am as an individual. And that's all I've ever done. I've always followed the path of what I feel is a part of me, or what makes me who I am. December, January, February into March is where I spend my time for the summer in Australia. And then after that, I come back, and I always play in Miami. And then whatever happens after that with my European gigs. So I'm here in Europe. I'm playing Prague, Macedonia, Italy, Germany, France, everything you can think of. And of course, our summer season in Ibiza takes me right up until September into October, and then I'll go off to America, do America all over, Canada as well, maybe South America, and then then get myself over to Asia, and then back to Australia. So that is my.
And that's your calendar every year.
Every year.
And do you take any time out?
Yeah. Well, in Australia,
that is your time
that
out.
is my time out.
Yeah.
That was really good. I mean, it's really positive to have, you know, people who are genuinely interested in an event like this in South London, and me being a part of, you know, South London culture.
I think
coming
it's,
back.
it's a bit more than that. It's actually like you coming back to England as well.
I think so. It's kind of stamping the idea that I haven't really gone away, and I'm still here, and I'm still here for everybody by what I did in my early days. And if not, it really shows that after all these years I still do this because I love it still, you know.
Right, do you want to come on through?
Yep.
Excellent.
I feel like when the doctors are saying, okay, well, sort out my hemorrhoids. Get Pete to sort out my hemorrhoids.
Hey, mate.
How are you?
Hey, I'm very well, Pete. How you doing? I'll tell you what, it's really nice in here, isn't it?
It's fantastic. It's better than pirate radio days.
For sure.
Like, what's going on?
I mean, I'm on the day off today, you know, and here I am, Pete. You know,
Vernon. I did the breakfast show the other day, and Vernon Kay came in, so I thought, you know, you got a weekend off, you can come in.
By order of Pete Tong.
Exactly. I was trying to think the first time we met, and you used to do sound systems for me.
Many years ago, Pete. In fact, though, but to be honest, it goes even further than that with the old Caister Soul and Funk days. Well, even though I was doing sound system stuff at that time, I was actually a punter, you know, drive my old Mark Uncle Tina to Caister, Great Yarmouth, and get my old shaving foam out and do the old pyramids and stuff in front of Pete and Froggy, God rest his soul, and everyone else. And, you know, I was a strict punter. I went to hear the music and hear the DJs right there. And you was definitely one of those DJs. Pete was a young and up-and-coming DJ then, you see.
So imagine this, it was me and Paul Oakenfold and Trevor Fung, a place in Croydon, and we had Carl Cox doing the sound system. Talking of memories as well, another one, Space 2004. Carl, do you remember your birthday?
Not a chance, I'll tell you. It all depends.
Lynn's putting her hand across her face.
It all depends if they saw me when I was wearing a, not a tutu, toga, when I was doing a party after Manumission, which was something of an interesting time because I was also wearing a blonde wig at the same time.
Now, just look, you've done this mix for us ahead of time. Just looking down the track listing, you've been busy, man. You've been making music again as well.
Yeah, you know, it took a while, Pete, I have to say, and finding your feet with the sound and the music and everything. But right now, I'm really pleased. I'm kind of feeling good about the music I'm making, and also farming some of the tracks out to get remixes and everything. And I'm really happy with the results. And this is a part of the new album.
You're in the hot mix, baby.
There you go. I'll give you one of mine if you give me that one.
Absolutely, Pete. I'm glad that you're enjoying that track. We've done it about six weeks ago, and with John Rundell, and yeah, it's great.
Funky.
It's got a good funk to it.
You got a radio show as well. Tell us about that. You're giving me some competition here.
Yeah, global. It's pretty extensive actually. We've got 24 countries worldwide, and it's going out to roughly 5 million listeners every week. It's pretty damn good based on that. I started it about 3 years ago, and it just kind of grew organically.
You can do a request now.
Yeah, I've got to do a few shout-outs actually.
Let's give him a demo. Come on, Cole.
Okay. Got to say a real good hi actually to Darren, Emerson, Kate, and the new addition Ben. You know, because he's a very happy man at the moment, Darren, and then he's big smiles on his face. To Robin Finley and to Jumper, who's looking after my house in Mallorca. To my sisters Pamela and Andrea, and my niece Rihanna, and Andy and Arena at the moment, who are cooking for us by the time we leave here when we get some amazing food. And to June, who I met today, who actually put the makeup on my face today. Do I look fine or not? I don't know. Happy birthday to June.
Come on, China's singing. Not bad, by the way, not bad. Carl Cox in the mix. Come on.
What's that coming over the hill? Is it a monster? Is it a monster?
It's been fantastic having you on the show.
Thank you, Pete. It's been a pleasure.
Again.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Before I go, actually...
Take more weekends off.
Before I go, actually, Pete, I've got to say, the reason why I had makeup on my face because I had a photo shoot today, that was all.
You went joining the Scissor Sisters. You've been playing those places in London lately, haven't you? Anyway.
Thank you, Pete. It's been amazing. Thank you, Radio 1 listeners.
He was sat in a little wine bar, and we all came over to join him, and he stood up and made sure that everyone had a seat, and he was pulling seats over and things like that. Now, okay, that's normal procedure for a really nice guy, but a normal, for someone in that position, sometimes people act in completely the opposite.
And he's always got a time for a smile or for an interview or a picture.
He's always yes and more and excellent and marvelous and amazing.
He's got the grin, the little Cheshire Cat grin.
He's always in the groove, and he has energy. He smiles. He communicates with the people. I think that makes Carl so outstanding.
Es una persona única, irrepetible, magnífica. Y sobre todo tiene un corazón que cabe todo el mundo. Everybody can be in his heart because he loves everybody.